Scott, thanks for joining us. We're off to Salford this weekend. What are your thoughts heading into that game?
Tough game. Excuse me, a tough game. Good manager, good opposition, good players. I think individually they're strong. Collectively they're strong. I think they've got a few injuries, but they've got good strength in depth in their squad. Just got some real willing runners, so we're going to have to be on our A game in order for us to compete with them. High XG, really high XG scoring team, will create a lot of chances, probably similar to us in that respect, that maybe they've not scored the chances that they've been given, but they do create, so we know that that's going to be a problem area. I watched their game against Bromley last week, and I thought they were really unlucky not to get something from that game. Lost the game 2-0. Should have scored at least 2, if not more. So I thought they were quite unlucky in that game. I think they were a good side. So yeah, we're going to have to be on our A game.
Yeah, lots of obviously strong players in their side, and they've been without a win in a few games. So they'll be really hungry to sort of get back to winning ways, won't they?
Yeah, of course. Every time you play against a team that hasn't won for a while, you know that it's going to be a tough game because they want to, win, like we do. So it's going to be a tough game just based on the players they've got and the manager they've got. It's going to be tough. Even though they have got quite a lot of injuries, I think that their strength in depth is clear to see. And we've got to make sure that we're really ready to work hard. Really, really ready to work hard, because that's one thing they will do. They're athletic. They've got some good runners, especially at the top end of the pitch, and we've got to be ready to run hard.
Yeah, the mood after Saturday was a strange one, because although we picked up a point and we kept the unbeaten run alive, a lot of the players were obviously naturally very down, because they were so desperate to get 3 points and they thought it was potentially 2 points drop. What have you seen in training this week?
Positivity, really. I think it's been a good week. We debriefed the game on Monday and had some kind of honest conversations about where I think we was flat and we needed to show a little bit more personality within the game, and the players took it on board and trained well all week. We've prepped the team today. We've got another training session en route tomorrow. So I'm actually looking forward to this game. I really am. I think it's always good to pit your wits against a good manager and a good team. And we're in a good place at the moment, even though we didn't probably do as much as I felt we could have done on Saturday. We still are unbeaten in 4 in terms of the league, so we're actually in a good place. We've just got to continue that now. I think it's important that we use that as momentum to get something really positive from this weekend.
Yeah, and how did the players come through last week? So obviously there was a couple of sort of niggles and knocks, wasn't there, after the game?
Yeah, my injury list is probably a lot bigger than I want it to be, for sure. We're not blessed with a full strength at the moment, unfortunately. We've got quite a few knocks, like you say. So there's no real difference from last week that I can think of.
Yeah, and this is sort of almost like the beginning of the Christmas period, isn't it? After this, we've obviously got that week gap where we're not playing in the FA Cup, and then after that it is sort of all hell breaks loose, and as we know, we've got fixtures almost coming up every day. So how important is it going to be to have, a big squad, coming up for that period?
Yeah, it is. I've not really thought of it, because all I care about at the moment is Salford. That's obviously the next task in front of us, and that's the one that we're focusing on the most. And we have then around 10 days break before we play Bromley again, so that might be a time to get some of them players back fit, and will give me more to choose from going into the Bromley game.
Looking at that 10-day break, does the result, or more importantly the performance on Saturday, dictate what the schedule is for that 10-day break?
It does, yeah, actually. I've asked the players to reach a target in terms of running stats in order for them to get a little bit more time off than what we would probably give them. I think it's important that they do have a break after Salford. We will probably lead into Bromley as normal, with kind of a normal week, as if it would be a Saturday game as such. So meaning that we would train on one of the days over the weekend, but they will be probably some time off after the Salford game. But depending on how many days they get will depend on how we do.
Yeah. And is it welcome because of the injury list, or would you rather be prepping for a Tuesday night or a...
I think on reflection, listen, we would have wanted to go, or I would have wanted to go through the next round of the FA Cup, definitely. I'd prefer to play, but it is welcome now it's here, because we have got quite a big list of injury players, and I think the players who are currently playing are probably, I think staff as well, probably need a few days away from, being that mundane thing of going into work every day and churning it out and onto the next one, and it becomes kind of hard, especially this time of year. So I think it's important that we do get that little mid-season break, whether it's 2 days, 3 days, whatever it ends up being. I think it's important that we do get that, and hopefully we see a refreshed group coming back into the Bromley game.
Brilliant, thank you.
In the Accrington Stanley game, you had over 2/3 of possession, I think. On the one hand, that's pleasing, I bet. But on the other hand, do you want to see your players take some more risks on the ball on Saturday to make the most of that?
We will never change. So, I know you probably only just started to come and see kind of how we play. It will never, ever change from that. We'll always have a lot of the ball. Some games we create more than others. Will I want more risk? No, not really, because risk sometimes comes with turnovers of possessions, and then it ends up being a basketball match where they attack, we attack, they attack, we attack, and we're not very good at that. So I want my teams to be controlled. So the answer would be no. Having said that, I've been quite happy with our XG of late. I think that we've always created, and probably we there's a fine line between sort of like having the control, creating, and just slinging the ball in the box willy-nilly, which we don't want to do. We feel that we can create better chances by keeping possession, especially around the edge of the box. There's times when you hear the crowd shoot, please shoot, and it's probably not on to shoot, and the players can't shoot. We make extra passes to get a better action, and sometimes that better action doesn't happen because it just doesn't. And other times it does, and that's when we get our big XG chances. So we have a way of playing. We'll never change from that. We're coached that way. I'm conditioned that way as a coach to coach the players that way, and that's what we do. If it was a case of we keep all the possession but create nothing, then you may have an argument with me, but at the moment there isn't one.
And Cabby, 2 weeks in a row, come off the bench, scored big goals. Are you tempted to throw him in from the start again this week?
I'm always tempted to throw players in from the start if they come on the pitch and score 2 goals, yeah. In actual fact, I don't pick the team, the players do. And they've always picked the team. It's just, I'm the facilitator. They pick the team. If they do well in training, they do well in games, then they get on the pitch.
And finally, Jay Williams obviously has played 2 back-to-back 90 minutes since having about 3 months off. 2 questions really. How big has that been for the morale in the squad? And do you think you might have to manage his minutes, or is that sort of impossible given the situation?
I think it's been big for the squad, definitely. I think that he's a big presence for us out on the pitch, definitely. I thought he had a quiet game Saturday, mind, but I did think that he didn't have a quiet game on the following game at Gillingham. I thought he was very involved in a lot of actions and led the team really well. And I think also that if he plays flat, the team play flat. I think I saw that on Saturday. I had a chat with him early part of the week, and he felt, he didn't feel as good for whatever reason, and therefore the team doesn't have that spark about him. What was the second part of your question?
Will you have to manage any of his
No,
minutes?
definitely not. No, I mean, if I'd have managed any of his minutes, it would have been in the first game. So no, we won't be managing his minutes. He'll play 90 minutes all the time he's fit, unless he has another injury.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.